Miami 5 have been now 13 years in jail for crimes they did not commit, seeking to protect their own friends, family and country from terrorist attack launched against them by terrorists based in Miami. Terrorists that, despite the biggest anti-terrorist machine in the world, seem not to have brought themselves to the attention of the US authorities for some strange reason. Even the fact that they managed to kill 3,500 innocent Cubans in the last 50 years, not one of those deaths has caused a single eyebrow to be raised within the global anti-terrorist establishment within the United States. The only conclusion we can draw from this is that the United States actually supports the terrorists and is harboring the terrorists on their soil. We are all very familiar with Luis Posada Carriles, who is the biggest terrorist in the world now, seeing that a certain terrorist was killed by a hit squad in Pakistan recently. The #1 terrorist in the world is based in Miami, and he's free to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and he has the full protection of the US government in his actions. His name is Luis Posada Carriles. One of the Miami 5 was tracking his movements, and they were lifted and jailed for interfering with the terrorists. The indignity of having a terrorist go free so that the fighters against terrorism could be jailed is only one of the indignities that has happened to the Miami 5. David Hickey is here, from the Dublin team. I want to congratulate him on his major success this year, and apologies to the vanquished. David has been a long-standing supporter of the Free the Miami 5 campaign, and we're delighted to be able to introduce him here tonight to say a few words and update you on what's been happening in the case. David.
Thanks very much, Simon. Simon has dropped this for me like a hospital pass. Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. For me, the real story about the Miami 5 is that there is no story. Throughout the world we have Amnesty International, we have the Red Cross, we have Human Rights Watch, and another plethora of NGOs establishing peace, democracy and freedom throughout the Middle East, Far East, Russia, Ireland. But this story has never been published in any of the mainstream newspapers that I can recall. I don't see too many reporters here tonight either covering this. The double standard is so appallingly obvious in this case. A nation that harbors terrorists is a terrorist nation. They're the words of the former, to use Bertie Ahern's phrase, great President Bush. No more need be said. René Gonzalez has served 13 years in jail for essentially campaigning and warring against terrorism. You all know the story here. That this man now, having served 13 years, is expected to spend 3 more years in Dade County, home of the terrorist group that has, as Simon mentioned, killed 3,500 Cuban people over the past 50 years. As he mentioned, Posada Carriles actually wrote an article in the New York Times 10 years ago boasting about his A Bomber's Tale was the name of the article. He wrote about the downing of a Cubana airliner in the Barbados in 1976, killing everybody on board. These crimes have never been investigated, and Posada Carriles and Orlando Bosch live with impunity. I think one of them has a street named after them in Miami, actually. Anyway, I would like to reiterate everything Simon said. This is a travesty of justice. There are no lawyers, international criminal court people here tonight supporting this. And we all know why. This is not a popular story because the emperor does not accept that he's not wearing clothes. Thank you again for your support. And Simon, thank you.
Thanks, David. We're also joined by Jack McGinley, who's president of the Cuba Forum within SIPTU, who's agreed to say a few words as well. Jack.
Comrades, when the SIPTU Forum went to Havana in November 2009, we were humbled to meet René González's brother, Roberto. We made and spoke with him, and we made one promise to him. We said that while the SIPTU Solidarity with Cuba Forum and the Irish-Cuban Coalition was still in being, we would fight for every day and every hour that we were around to try and make sure that the Cuban Five as they're known at home, or the Miami Five as they're known here, that we would not rest until they're all free. It's a hypocrisy in the country that calls itself the land of the brave and the free, that a man having served his prison sentence should have to serve a subsidiary sentence of 3 years by being told that he had to stay in that country where he is going to be a target for the next 3 years. I urge you all to continue your support for the Miami Five and to do everything in your power to bring it to a wider audience, because there is no doubt there are still many people in Ireland who know nothing of the Miami Five. And just as like In the Name of the Father became the promotional vehicle for young people in the 1990s to learn of the troubles in Ireland, it's about time that we got these postcards, and there are 10,000 of them, and it's not just to give them to Obama, but it's to give them to our own people, so as they get to know and learn of the travesty that is the Miami Five. Gurmila Margav.
Thanks very much, Jack. I think our focus at the moment is on the postcard campaign. We've got plenty of postcards. We'd like you to take some away and distribute them among your friends and relatives. It's important that Obama gets the message that he has the power to release these tomorrow, in fact today. And the only thing that's going to get them free now, having gone through the legal process, is political pressure. It's very important that the postcard campaign, which is a global campaign, causes Obama to sit up. They're already agreed to modify the case they took against the Five because of the international pressure that they're under from all of these campaigns around the world. Free the Miami Five campaign was set up in 2002. We protested outside this embassy every year since then, and we will continue to protest outside this embassy every year until the last member of the Miami Five is free and returned safely to Cuba. Thank you all for your support, and we'll see you here again next year. Thank you.
Viva Cuba!